What up, Filmspiration Nation? It's your boy Edgar Ibarra at 12:27 a.m. midnight. Red from all of the yard work in the backyard since I'm on vacation. But I wanted to put out a video of a little project that I had been asked to participate in about a month ago when a friend of mine with the National Park Service was approached by another contact of his out of Washington, D.C. from an organization called Corazon Latino or Latino Heart. And they were actually looking to put together a video for the celebration of Latino Conservation Week, which is a week, let me give you the exact dates, a week of July 18th through the 26th, which supports getting Latinos outdoors to do things like fishing, hiking, camping, etc. And so we jumped in, we did a series of mariachi videos that were then incorporated into a bigger video with a lot of great messaging with regards to US Latinos and what the outdoors, what Mother Earth and what Mother Nature means from the US Latino perspective. So I'm going to go ahead and show you just a few seconds of the intro of the very first mariachi video, of 5 of which I helped put together in the shooting and the editing. But only just like the first 30 seconds of the intro, and then maybe the first 30 seconds of the song. I'm going to actually link that song to in the description of this video, as well as the link to the overall video, where you can see that Corazon Latino used all 5 of the mariachi song videos within their much bigger video, which aired late July, I want to say. So it was a blast. It was a lot of work, but all of those links for the final video, as well, the final 5 videos, as well as also the Corazon Latino video, again, in the description of this video. Thank you very much, and enjoy all of the editing for you masochists who like to watch that type of stuff. I'll talk to you guys later. Adios. So let's go ahead and take a look at the intro of the video. Don't have many days to put this together, so it's one of the cases where you got to do the best that you can with very little time, but I'm still gonna do exactly that, the best that I can. So first we start off with basically some photos of a nice sunset here in Tucson, maybe a closer one, a nice wide shot, and you get these beautiful skies right here where the red comes in, you got the blues, and then you got the really dark mountains, and that'll look better. There's another great shot of exactly that, except a little bit more zoomed in when I took the photo. And then here's the mariachis. Now add to that some some wind music that would fit the desert just fine. And then I decided to take some camera shutters along with the wind off the internet and use those. So let's go ahead and take a look to see what that looks and what that sounds like. So here we wanted to show the mariachis, responsibly starting off with their masks, and then we show them in a wide shot. They're pretty well social distanced. lot of feet between all of them. And so, but mariachis, having to sing, having to play the trumpet, you got to breathe. And so that's why we wanted to establish that we were conscious of the fact that, we got COVID-19 going on, but, them being mariachis again, the singing, the playing, the accompaniment of your main mariachi who's singing, be it a male or female. So that's why we opened that up like that. So what I did here is basically you've got layers 1, 2, and 3. And so we did the songs from 3 different angles. Let's see. Okay, so here's your main angle where we start from, which is your basic establishing shot. Then afterwards, I took the jib arm upon which I placed the camera, and I got it from each side right over here, as well as right over here. And so that's why you have these beautiful moving shots from the right and from the left. So you'll see how this plays out. So a lot of times in music, these are basically 5 music videos composed of 3 shots each. Very, very fast moving, very beautiful mariachi music. And so a lot of it is syncing things up, and you sync up the audio first. And then once you do that, then you figure out which of the shots work and in what combination. And that'll become basically very apparent because, stuff will either work visually or it won't. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and close the door after I let this play, okay? Okay, cool. So one thing that is definitely noticeable here is that here's our first wide shot. And then so for the second shot, I got it from over here on the right. The third shot, I got it from frame left. And so that's why as time went on, we got this beautiful golden sunlight right here on the third shot, because what you don't see is that what they're looking into is basically this type of a sunset. And you've got this beautiful golden light slash red coming through on them. And so that's why you have the difference in these shots right here. So that's where we're at right now. And I'm going to pick it up from here. So remember, a lot of this is syncing the audio. And then once you sync the audio, then per the basis of, the visuals, you kind of see what happens and you just go from there. So let's take a look one more time, because I like to go through it over and over again also, just to make sure that it works for me. So one thing that I'm going to do right here, because this is such a hard change from this light to this light, a really good way to always kind of smooth things out for the eye is a little dissolve. And so I just like to use a basic cross dissolve right here. And then maybe go out 5 frames in each side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for a total of 10, because everything comes in like this. And then there was another section right here that could also benefit from a dissolve. So let's go ahead and bring that down. Yeah, okay. Let's go ahead and bring that down afterwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then maybe, so I'm kind of seeing that the light works a whole lot better when you're going from 2, 3, 4, 5. When you're going from this beautiful golden light to the gray sky. Fun little technique, if you notice a zoom in right here, is because this was not set to go, or this part right here was not good. This shot was not good to go till about this time. So we had to stretch it out from here till here. But that's fine because you can still make it interesting for the eye with a nice little zoom in. Same thing with the young lady once she starts up on her violin. On top of the camera moving from the left to the right, I'm also doing a slow little zoom in to kind of bring attention to her, making her the focus. So here, I like the way this shot comes in, except the problem that I have with it is that space right there. So I am going to just go in a little bit. Well, first off, let's go ahead and call this our closing position right here at the 100% mark, and our opening position, let's call that 100 and then 158, my bad. And then we're kind of separating and focusing on this mariachi, this gentleman right back here. So the shot will actually start and then move out as the shot progresses to the left in this shot. Let's see how that works. Save that. Okay, I like that. I like the way that worked because that eliminated the space that was over here on his right. So let's keep on moving forward. All right, so nice little cross dissolve from the hard 3, 4, 5. Let's go 5 in. Nice little cross dissolve coming in from that hard orange sunlight, golden light hour. Sorry, the term escaped me for a moment. Okay, so far the sync sounds really good, and here's where the waveform comes in big time. I can see that these two are lined up nicely. Maybe this one's a little bit off to the right. So we're going to, yep, per the waveform, I moved it just, I don't know, it was 2 frames over to the right, and then these 3 valleys right here are better lined up. Okay, so that's a really nice. So right here also, couldn't really tilt down when I had the camera high up. So you've got all of this open head space right here, just above these 2 mariachis. Actually, this guy also, number 3. And you know, you've got this open space here too. So let's go ahead and again, close out that space just for purposes of keeping it interesting and balanced for the eye.
So we're going to call that the close position, and then the opening position. Let's go really tight in. Shot this in HD. This is not 4K, but you can still go pretty tight in and get more or less good definition. So not too worried about that. But obviously if you go in too tight, then you know what happens. Let's see how this looks. Okay, so right here, this mariachi on the right side is cut off. So I want to keep his face in there. So we're gonna go till about maybe right here, and then see what we can do with this other shot. And by the way, because it's all synced up very nicely actually for these next bunch of moments, you keep on going and figure out what works visually after everything is in sync. So let's also see which piece of audio we keep too. Okay, so this piece of audio corresponds to this piece of video, which is being covered. So it probably is not the piece of audio to use. So let's go ahead and move this one into its place. So you can tell it's a little lower right here. Let's go ahead and bring this up and then maybe throw in a little audio dissolve right there. Audio transitions, just to make sure that it's smoothed out. Too little is too little, and too much, well, you'll hear the overlap when it's too much. And look at that. Getting smut in the mailbox, I swear. So let's do something a little different over here with this. Right here, this closing point, let's bring that way over there. Let's see how this looks. Okay, that actually seemed to work. I like that. Okay. So I like it up until that point. So let's see if we can zoom in. Okay. Just a little bit. So we move it to that point. So that way the zoom out. So I like this a whole lot better because the other one was good, but it was a little too tight. This works a whole lot better. Okay, so the one shot we haven't used up until this point is the wide shot. So let's see what's going on with the wide shot. Let's move that one back. Let's move this one back. All right, so you could tell that it goes. I like that, but I feel that because we go from a wide to a wide right here, that it's a little harsh. So let's go ahead and smooth that out for the eye. Again, great little technique to do that is always a little cross dissolve. I'd go into a little bit more with more tact if I wasn't so much under the gun, but got to keep on moving forward on this video, so let's do that. So right as this mariachi's face comes in, I want to feature him. This gentleman we featured, I mean, he's up front, he's pretty prominent. This guy in the back also, he's been there for the past few seconds. So this mariachi is about to lift his trumpet to his lips. So let's make sure to see what we can do with him. Okay, so this shot will definitely stay off of because we've got to kind of go from a wide to a wide. That we don't want. So just keep on moving back. So the trumpet comes in right about here. So I think I want to come in to him. Let's move this one out of the way a little bit more. I want to come into the trumpet right as the trumpet starts, really. And another thing I want to do is this is a good number of seconds right here from 310 to about 318. So that's a full 8 seconds where we have the main master shot, which is good, but I want to see it do a little bit more than that. So we'll call that our closing point, again, for purposes of being quick about it. And our starting point will be this right here. So starting point right here. And then we should have a nice zoom in, or I'm sorry, a nice zoom out as we dissolve into this. So let's check out how that works. Okay, so right there, actually, that is my musical cue to cut away from that shot, but that worked out just nicely. So this guy will drag back, this guy will drag back. Let's see. This audio will move up since it's going to be the audio from this shot that we'll be using. The new shot will, with our golden light hour that we will be introducing. So. Okay, so bring that down and let's see, little audio crossfade. Okay, so another thing, so usually when I've done other music videos in the past, and these are basically music videos, but when I've done other music videos in the past, what you usually have is somebody singing to a song. If it's a rapper, if it's rap, even better, because the beats are really easy to follow. And the beat on the waveform itself is part of the visual guide too. The problem here is that we got mariachis that are doing it live over and over and over again. So they're actually not following a soundtrack. There's no playback. There's no boombox out there. There's no DVD player or CD player. No one had, wait, that's old school. You know what I mean? Like, there's no one with an iPod playing this off their phone. They're playing this live, like they're actually playing it. So I had to make a very kind request for them to play it as similar every single time for the wide, then the side shot, then the side shot. And they got it for the most part. Now, obviously, it's not perfect, and that's where I have to do the syncing. But that's how I'm constructing this. And so, you know, basically everything else from right here onward, as we keep on going and chopping and adjusting, what I'm also doing is syncing as I go along. And so when you play it back, if you can notice that just something's just like really horribly out of sync, um, not not so much with the visuals, definitely with the visuals, but it's more about the audio right here. So that's why you need your waveform. That's why the waveform is almost absolutely important. Like I can already tell you right here, this guy right there needs to match up with that guy, but I will match it up shortly enough. So a lot of it is syncing. So let's keep on moving forward. Okay, so from that gray type of a light, again, little cross dissolve. One more frame in. There you go. Okay, I can already hear that it's out of sync, and I can also see that it's out of sync too. So let's go ahead and do this. As long as we have the space on this end right here, we'll move this in, and then this part right here, we'll create some space for this to work. Okay, because what we need to do is we need to shift a few things over. That way things match a little bit more. So let's try going over maybe 1 or 2 frames. So there would be 1 frame right there. Another frame. Maybe we go back 1. Here we go forward. Okay, so now it's a little bit more in sync. It's not perfect, but things seem to line up just a little bit better. Maybe we go over 1 frame more. Let's take another listen. Okay, so this part right here where the trumpets start going like just crazy, I'm going to open this up. I'll take care of that. So this section right here, I'm going to take care of later, because look at how the trumpets go crazy right here. These peaks not so sharp as this one and also this one right here. So that's going to be really a whole lot more easy to sync up. So let's focus on this area right here. Now, one of the shots that I've not brought in yet is the wide shot. No, I'm sorry, not the wide shot, the shot from frame right. So let's see what we can do with that. Okay, so let's draw that one back. Okay, cool. So what I want to do here is another little tip when you're editing music or music videos. If you don't know where to bring in a cut or where to end a cut to cut away to the next thing, let the music be your guide. So here's a prime example. And I do this also with people speaking rhythms as well. So that's where you got to really listen and let the creativity be built upon literally the musical structure or somebody's speaking structure. So. Okay, so I can already tell you that per the rhythm of the music, I want to come into the next shot right around here. So let me go ahead and that one should go with that one right there. Okay. So let's go ahead and bring that audio up since we're going to be focusing on this piece of video. Now, when you do this, right? So this audio corresponds to this piece of video. When you bring in the corresponding piece of audio, it kind of changes it so that way the focus, like per the audio, you understand I was recording on the side of the violinist too, not just from the side of the harp as well. So when you move it in like this, then that's the dominant audio, and that's why we hear her so well. Okay, so that's definitely going to be the part where, let's bring that back. And this guy. That's definitely going to be where the switch happens per the music rhythm. So what I'm going to do is okay. Oh, that's a video. That audio is a nice smooth dissolve from this piece of audio to the other piece of audio. In the point in the song, they're the exact same point in the music, but they're from two different takes, and you can hear the difference. Again, you hear the violinist come in. So I want to do something different to where, yes, maybe we start off wider. Okay, so we will start off with no. Let's see. Okay, this is what I was looking for. My bad. Okay, start off at 100, right? So maybe by this point right here, what I would like to do is zoom in slowly, progressively, gradually. And you get the two guys in the back, full body, and all of these sombreros are actually nicely aligned per, my concept of what good headspace is, or headroom. So let's take a look at this. Okay, so I think, here's what I think. I think we can stretch this out so that way that zoom's not so fast. But here's the thing. Oh, geez. Okay. So here's the thing. I want to kind of end with this headspace and maybe all three of them centered right there. So let's see how that works. Okay, I can already hear that it goes out of sync there, but now let's see what the wide shot has to offer. Oh, let's move me over here just a little bit. That's a good spot for me. All right, so let's pull back this side shot and this other side shot. I think that actually works out very, very nicely. And though I know that this kind of goes against the rule that I laid down where the dissolves are for the golden light hour shots, I kind of like So this kind of works because she has a golden tint on her face right here. Obviously not as strong as this, but still though. So let's go ahead and use a little cross dissolve right here to then bring in. Okay, so that was a little too long. I usually like to go somewhere between like 15 frames, that's half a second, so that might be a little too long. 10 frames, 1/3 of a second, that's a little bit tighter, but still nice and long enough to know that you have a dissolve going on to smooth it out for the eye, so that way the eye can still appreciate the dissolve. So let's keep on going. Okay, and then so by the time the music continues right here, the dissolve's already done over here, so good stuff. Okay, so I can already hear where it goes out of sync right here. So let's bring this guy back. Okay, so this top one and the far bottom one are in sync with definitely this one. So this one right here, which I believe is one of the side shots, yes. Let's see what we can do with see if, you know what, actually let's group these together or link them together. That way they act as one. So okay, that's really bad out of sync, so maybe we had to go the other way. Or maybe a frame or two more. You can kind of see here, this peak corresponds to that one corresponds to that one, except this line is, let's see if we can pull these peaks out a little bit more and then also make this a little smaller so we can focus more on the tone wave. Okay, that is in perfect and beautiful sync. So let's move forward. So this shot we haven't used in a little bit. Well, we have actually, but you know what I mean. Like we use it to focus on the female violinist and the guys on the far right side of the frame. So let's see what can be done with the guys on the far left side, filming from the right. All right, I like that as a musical break. So let's go ahead and bring that, oh, got the volume up. Okay. Okay, so right here, I can already tell you that that's the next musical break because this guy Sombrero's going out of frame at the very top. This gentleman is still in here, she's still in there. But if we keep on going anymore, we get this. And so we don't want to, so we don't want to fully cut out our mariachi right there. So go ahead and get this guy in here. liking the audio right there. Now I might be off a frame, so let's go ahead and move it out and then bring it back a frame. Alrighty, so that seems to work. So let's try eliminating this. Let's try eliminating that audio from the wide shot. Bring in an audio fade. Okay, so that's not seeming to work for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to trim a little this fat. Oh. Okay, so audio wise, if you know a lot of the classic mariachi songs, you'll know that that sounds a little bit better, if not a whole lot more better. And that's the difference that even 2 frames that I think I excluded right there makes. Okay, and maybe we do another little cross dissolve very quickly. 4 frames, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 total. Okay, so again, we don't want to cut off Mr. Guy's head. So let's see what's going on with maybe the wide shot. So right here, I like that part, but again, to keep it interesting, I love to do a nice little zoom out. Nothing too annoying, nothing. The keyword I like to use with the zooms is subtle, very subtle. It all depends on the mood or the tone, but I don't like to go crazy with the zooms. Let me go ahead and move me down here. Get over there, Edgar. All right, cool. Woof. So back to this clip right here. So we're going to start off with, let's see, in the last one we did, that one was no motion. So that was a slow zoom out. So let's go ahead. Let's do a nice little slow zoom in. So that's where we start. Oh, already had a starting point. $110, maybe 115. 115 is good. Let's balance out the mariachis. Nope, not up and down, but rather, there we go. Alrighty, so now we have a nice zoom in, I believe. So I can already hear that it's going out of sync again. We'll address that right now, but okay, let's try. Oh, Audio. Okay. Video. 5 that way, bring them in. Now, the thing that I love about Adobe, I love many things about the Adobe Premiere Pro, Creative Cloud Suite, but cool little detail is when you move one side of a cross dissolve, before you would have to move the other side as well. Now it does it for you simultaneously. And then of course you can adjust it. So how big the visual or the audio dissolves are and how you position them are all up to you. And then let's go back here. So because we added that dissolve, we actually have more space to go further coming on this area from the previous video. Okay, gotta fix some audio. Sounds a little bit better. Looks good. Maybe this audio is a little off. That's interesting. Okay, so that one goes to that one. So what if we bring that audio over here? Okay, cool. So I can already tell you that I like where this is going. Cross dissolve, or I'm sorry, constant power dissolve for the audio. So this one, so we're going to get rid of that. Let's see what the wide shot looks like. Just came off a wide shot, never mind. So the jib arm actually stopped going up right about there. So it's probably a really good thing that we will bring in this audio over here, and then the shot cuts away right there. So in audio, significantly lower, so we bring it up. Okay, the rest of the sync sounds pretty good because so far they're all playing in sync. And, oh, excuse me. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 5 frames, 10 total, 5 and 5 on each side. Okay, cool. So we just use that shot. The rest of the sync sounds good. See what's going on in the wide shot. Still pretty stagnant, so. So what we'll do is stretch this out right here. So what I want to do is I want to stop here. before the camera starts shifting the other way. So let me go ahead and chop that off, because here's what I want to do. Again, I want to play with the space as we go off the harp and on the harp. Let's go ahead and, oops. So we go from the harp to the harp, but no big deal. Bring it up. And that's what I love, is that we go straight from a clarity of that trumpet to a clarity of the violin, because of the different positionings that I had with this song, as with the other 4 songs that comprise this. So let's keep on pushing forward here. The audio crossfade. All right, so that's my closing spot. Opening right here. And mark that as 100%. So what I want to do is I want to close on the female violinist's face and center this, so kind of cropping out this area right here to keep the 3 mariachis in. So let's go ahead and do that. So it'll be a nice zoom in that kind of collects them all within the frame, just for some nice clean symmetry. Oh, what is that? Okay, let's start over, because I'm getting, there you go. Okay. So ending frame, one more time. We come in, we go up, and then we go on this way, but then you gotta watch out. Be mindful of that border. 160, maybe 150, because it's too tight in there for the guy on the right. And then bring it over. Good. So see how that looks. Let's try something a little bit more out there, a little bit more fun. So we have her face right on top of the violin, and all the action is on the violin as she moves the bow up and down. What if we went tight in and just really focused on her face with the bow and the violin? Probably be a quicker zoom in, but let's see if it works. Let's see if it can look good. You know, maybe we'll keep Mr. Guy over there in there. Let's call this 300 flat. Positioning. Okay, so they actually end up framing there very nicely. So let's see how we can make this work, or let's see if it works. Okay, that actually was really nice. Let's take a look at that again. I was kind of curious about it, kind of worked out. So another little curiosity, let's see if we can maybe go through the halfway mark and get to. Okay, let's bring it in, not that fast, but not toward the end either. See see how this looks. Cool, so they are framed up nicely, and that actually lasts a few moments. So from already, so looking good, but I can hear that the music goes out of sync here. So let's go ahead and address that. Okay, so I can already see that these waveforms need to line up right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Maybe we bring the top one back. Bring that one back in, and that So just looking at this, I can already tell you that I think that, well, here's what I think is wrong with this. This one we're going to bring back just a little bit more. Okay, so something is really not syncing up right there, but I'm going to worry about that later. So. Now let's take a look, let's take a listen to the song to see if it flows the way it's supposed to per the song. I can already tell you that this shot right here, up until this point in time, is kind of ugly, so I'm just going to get rid of it. So. Alrighty, so let's have some fun in the wonderful land of sync. It sounds a little bit better. Something's still off, so we got to figure out what and how. And that shot's still ugly, so we're going to get rid of that one. Okay, so it goes out of sync, but this is a little bit better. Let's see what's going on in the wide shot. Try to get rid of this, see if that helps. still a little off, just a tad. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's bring these closer, see if that does a trick. Nope, too tight in. So if you know these mariachi songs, you'll know when it's off beat. So. Okay, so let's get rid of that space right there. Okay, that sounds like it's hit right there. So let's do a little audio crossfade. I can already tell you this shot right here is a little ugly with the way it moves and balances when we come back to it. But I do like the idea of leaving the wide shot in there. Okay, so let's get rid of this because this part is definitely ugly. And let's try getting this shot in there to see how that works. Okay, definitely off sync. So here's my 2 cents. I think we need to move. Almost there. Maybe nope. Maybe one back a little bit more. Okay. I can already see that from here to here, like for example, this right here, I need to move this back just a hair. Give it some space the other way. That way on the other end over here, we're not crushing any video that we would then have to recompensate for. Let's see how this works. Giving this more space, see if that does a job. Kind of sounds good. Let's try that one more time. Let's push it frame by frame. Let's take a listen. It sounded better before. So let's try that. I think that sounds good. Let's go ahead and bring the audio crossfade. 3 that way for a total of 6, 3 on each side. Okay, so that actually looks really good. What I would like to do that I've not done so much from the sides, well, from this side at least, is I want to take, I know we've already featured the harp player, but you know, let's go ahead and get in on his face, or zoom in on his face just a little bit. That's such a beautiful instrument, the harp, la arpa, as they say in Spanish. All right, so the thing that I'm looking at right here is this guy's sombrero is not fully cut off. This guy's feet from head to toe, he's in the shot. So let's see how that looks. Okay. I like that zoom in, but for some reason it stops too early, so let's pull that back. So this right here, definitely featuring the mountains, all of these saguaros here in Tucson. This was shot in the Tucson Mountains, which is on the west side of Tucson. Gorgeous, gorgeous area, untouched, pristine, but it's also federal land. So God help you if you vandalize or, you know, hurt any animals. Don't do it, because it's beautiful. That's how we're able to film such beauty behind these mariachis. So, quick side note, weird side. I know. Okay, let's keep on going. So let's see if we can do something creative with this part right here, where we start off at regular 100s. And let's see where we want to end the shot. Wow, we're almost actually done with this song. Okay, I can hear it's out of sync, and I can see it's out of sync too. So what are we going to do about that? Well, I'm happy you asked. We're going to try to bring things back into sync, into the editing balance of the universe. Some Star Wars editing stuff. Bam! You're welcome. Okay, so everything was beautiful up until about right here, and then you can see that it kind of starts to go out of sync right there. Same thing with this one too. Cool. Let's bring this in right here. So this section right here is already synced up. So okay, so right there we are not hearing the harp, that sound. Well, we're hearing it, but the problem is that his fingers are not making it. So let's, at this point, cut away to another shot. And that's not on them, so that's kind of ugly. Okay, so back to here. Keep on polishing this end. So that goes down a little bit. Let's go ahead and bring it up. Very nice, very nice, very smooth transition right here. So that, I'm so confident about the syncing and the bringing together of those joints in that moment that I don't know if you noticed, but I dropped the constant power audio transition right here. Okay. Let's go back. So I like this as a starting point right here, but again, being conscious of things like headspace. Did I already put, I already put something there too, so all right. Being conscious of headspace, let's just be conscious about where we're finishing up. So we can still get those gorgeous mountains in the background, I do believe. And let's see how this looks. Okay, maybe we cropped out the mountains, but the mariachis are perfectly balanced within the frame, so I like that. Maybe we bring them up. Well, we'd have to zoom in, maybe 150. And then we bring them up just a little bit right there. Okay, let's see how that looks. Okay, I like that. All right, so we'll go back to this shot. Let's see how maybe this can work. I want the guy's trumpet playing, and that's going to be kind of the cue to bring him back in. This guy right here, I think, is very nice, except I thought maybe that could work if we stretch out the nodes to the other side, but okay, so this shot, I want to stay off of it because we're already showing the mariachi player with the harp a lot. So let's go ahead and try another angle. So I like how this starts. We start wide because we finish a little tighter right here because of the cushion that I put right there on the back end of that frame. So front end of this frame, tight is good with me, although yes, there's a lot of headspace above them, but still we've got this beautiful mountain range from the Tucson Mountains, all these beautiful saguaro cactus behind them. So I can live with that. And there is a difference between that and that. After all, it is a match cut on the same frame, so all the movements are the same, so it kind of works. So yeah, let's move on. I'm gonna drop some audio in there. Alrighty. 100%, we start right there. Those are our starting points. Our ending points. Kind of the same framing, a little similar to the other one. Okay, let's see how that works. I like that because we're zooming in down and to the right and onto her face, and then afterwards then from the other side we're also zooming in a little bit downward, but definitely to the right, also back on our harp player. So maybe we can So right here she adjusts the bow on her traje, the mariachi outfits, very beautiful outfits, by the way. So let's go up until the point right when her hands start to leave the violin to make that adjustment. That way we don't have a costume adjustment on camera. And then that kind of helps out because I wanted to feature this young man back here. So let's try that, see how that works. Stretch this out this way, this out that way. Okay, cool. Now in wanting to feature the trumpet player, since he's one of the three gentlemen, or four in the back actually, that aren't too prominent or up front, what we're going to do is start, we're going to call this our endpoint. Boom, boom, boom. I've done that. Oh, it's not what I meant to do. Okay, so we take this, bring it over here. So our starting point, I want to be on him. A little bit tighter on him, but unfortunately, as you can see right there, he's very, very, very tight up against the border of frame left. So let's see how much we can actually get away with and if it looks good. Okay, 336, let's try 330. Okay, so I can already tell that that's out of sync, so let's try to fix that very quickly. And then we'll go back to that other portion. Okay, that sounds a whole lot more better. Not perfect though, but we're going to fine tune it. Okay. I like this, so if we bring him in with a nice little dissolve. Okay, so that's the corresponding audio, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of that audio, and then we're going to roll this one. Roll this one up. Okay, so it's significantly lower. Let's go and bring it up. Damn, okay, that sounded really good. So let's keep on going after a little audio transition right there. Okay, so hard cut from her face to his face doesn't really work for me, so let's throw in a little dissolve there, see if that can help. Maybe if we stretch it out. Okay, so then maybe that's a little too long, but so 15 on each side for a total of 30 frames or 1 second. I like that because right at the midpoint we've got her on frame right, and he comes in frame left. Very cool. I really like that. And the audio works great, so let's keep on moving. That's a really fast zoom out. Okay, so let's move this back, and we're going to stretch this already. Okay, that's really ugly, so what we're going to do is keep that stretch out this way. Okay, let's stay off of this shot since we just featured it, so we're going to pull that. All right, so let's kind of cool it until the trumpets come in. Okay, so I can already tell you that that's looking good. Okay, so that's a little closer. We'll deal with that in a little bit. Let's go back to this bar again. try to get rid of this, bring this back, close this gap by lassoing everything. Oh, that sounds perfect. Let's listen to that again. So that's the start of this shot, but we'll deal with this later. So let's go ahead and bring these two items down. Baby, are you down, 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 down? Yeah, that's why I don't sing. That's why I'm an editor, photographer. Okay. Okay. Dissolve. Oh, can't put the audio on the video. So then, because this starts at 306 as far as the scale goes, and I'm trying to bring it back down to 100. So that zoom out is way too quick. It's not looking pretty. It's actually looking pretty ugly. So let's try going from 306 to 200. So then. Wow. Okay. That was also ugly because it cut off everyone's head. So here's what we're going to do about that. We're going to redo this spot. Redo as in not chop heads off. Maybe, oh, there you go. Look at that framing. Got the top of this guy's sombrero. Guitarrón. The bass guitar back there. Let's see if we can get the whole thing back in there. And then that's very nice framing. And then this guy just happens to be here in that little space. I think that's awesome. Now let's put it into the dissolve. Save that. Okay, so then that part, the reason why I was seeing is because that's where I want to stop next. So. Can already tell that this is a little off. Okay, that sounds really good. Let's keep on going a little further by sliding this over this way, and then making sure that that movement keeps on going through the dissolve. So what I'm thinking here is we can do something a little bit of the reverse. I think the movement's pretty. I would like to start a little tighter in on the female mariachi, and this gentleman up too much. There we go. And no. Okay. So maybe right here. That's the end of that shot. So then right here, we go back to our 100% scale, and of course we adjust this, bring this way. See how let's check out how this looks. Okay, so that comes in a little rough on the eye. I like the movement and everything. It's just a little rough. So, oh, and then also let's go ahead and bring in the audio, except strengthen it up. Strengthen it up, and then as far as for the female mariachi, I still am not happy with this framing, so let's try something different. Oh, we can't, because that's all it goes that way and that way. Okay, never mind. But we can move forward and still do the audio track. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just utilize this audio right here and bring that audio down. Then, of course, bring the volume up a little stronger. And if the sync is good, then you won't even notice the dissolve because you didn't have to do any sort of special adjustments for the dissolves. Okay, so I'm trying to skip all of this space right here from the time we leave the harp player right here till the time the trumpet player starts to come in over here. So maybe right about here we'll cut back in. Meantime, here's what we can do with this. Audio transitions. Okay, so I can already hear that that's out of sync too. That is fine, we'll deal with that. So a nice little zoom in. As you guys can tell, I'm Big fan of zoom ins, especially if you've seen, you know, good suspense films. The way good suspense films will use zoom ins, they will basically use a very subtle zoom in to command your attention. Okay, so first off, I like that. I like that. So let's go ahead and just correct this zoom. I'm sorry, this sync right here. So I can already tell you it's almost there. Watch. Let's listen to that again. Okay, that sounds really good. So what we shall do, my friends, is we're going to stretch this shot, which is the wide shot, just a hair more on that zoom in. And then we're going to bring in this shot right here because I want to feature a little bit more prominently, once again, the mariachi player who's playing the trumpet player. So I'm going to bring this guy up right here. Bring that audio up a little low. Okay, so I want to cut away right here so I can already tell you exactly what I want to do. Okay, so our starting point is again, scale that at 100. Bam, bam. Okay, so those are there at 100. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to really give, you know, maybe the bassist needs some love too. So he's very far away. Well, no, you know what? Never mind me on that, because here's why I had my original thought of focusing in on the trumpet player, because the trumpet's what grabs your attention at this point in time. So he starts blaring really loud. So that's basically a call for attention. You know, I'm not a musical scholar by any stretch of the imagination, but when you do, let's see, when you do have an instrument like the trumpet just blaring out for your attention, it's doing that. It's calling out for your attention. So I'm going to give it that attention. So okay, so again, same problem, but in reverse as we had last time. 250 is the ending point versus 100 being the starting point. So why don't we 250? So why don't we call this 200 maybe as a starting point? And then maybe that's where we show the bassist some love. Get him in there. Let's see how this looks. here the music gets intense and it goes out of sync really quick. Let's go ahead and address that. We fix syncing issues. Okay, that sounds really good. Let's try maybe one more frame to the left. Now let's go back to what it was, just one frame to the right. Okay, so that sounds good to me on the sync. So close those gaps. Now let's see what shots, and we're almost there, everyone, yay. And save both versions. Okay, so went from wide to the left-hand side. So let's give some love to the right-hand side. So let's go ahead and shorten this on this end, because I'd like to bring in the gang on the right just a little sooner. So we're going to get rid of that, stretch them this way from the other side. Perfect, and just for good measure, let's go ahead and throw in a dissolve right there. So I could kind of hear that when you stretch out the audio dissolve, it gets too much, and so you maybe just want to bring it in just a little bit more, which I just did. Okay, so right here, the jib arm. That sounds like it's in sync. So first and foremost, this is where I want to cut away. The reason why is because the jib arm starts to go up, because when they start out this dun 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 dun, when they start to go at it on that spot of the song, I wanted to come down from above them and then show these three in particular, since I was on them in the moment. So I readjust the jib arm, and there you go. And ready to come down. So meantime, we don't need that. Okay, so right here, I think that's a great transition. except we have our camp over here, so want to keep that out of there. So maybe a thing I can do is just kind of keep utilizing. All right, so we're gonna try something a little different. Bring her audio up, and then over here, we got some dissolves. Okay, so we will get rid of that. Bring her violin audio up, make that stronger. All right, so constant power, bring it in. Audio transitions. So since I am very much a creature of the habit of pushing in to command people's attention, every now and then it's really nice to mix it up. So what I'm going to do to mix it up is I'm actually going to start off a little bit more zoomed in and pull out. And that I want as the ending shot right there. So right there will be the ending shot. It's already at 132. All right, so let's try this. You guys, a lot of what I do is I'm literally trying different things, and if visually something works, then we roll with it, and if it just does not seem to work, then you try something else. It just didn't work, and you're gonna have to feel this through yourself. If you go full on in the desert. Okay, desert vegetation. There's some saguaros. These are called ocotillos. Beautiful plant. And let's see how this looks. Oh, why is it going out of frame? Wow, that's really, really weird. So let's undo all of that. So I like this as the point of re-entry on that shot. Wide shot, since we're getting closer to the end of the video, wide shot to basically use as an establisher. So we'll leave the wide shots a little bit more toward the very, very back end. We'll see how that works, but if we need to, we'll definitely use it before then. So let's see how this can work. Okay. Oh, slip and slide. Okay, let's get rid of that. So it looks like we might have to go back to that wide shot. Yay. So this ending point right here let's try that, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so that looked really good. I'm very happy with that. So let's try to make the wide shot last. So the difference right here is that her sombrero is for the most part in there versus when it was back here. It was definitely more out of the shot. So your eye had a little bit more time to adjust to it coming from the bottom of the frame on up. So let me see what my gut instincts tell me to go with. All right, so I'm gonna go with that. Let's go ahead and save that. And right here, let's actually pull this down. And then, you know what, maybe nice little dissolve right here. Now again, my use of dissolves and zoom ins and whatnot, that's, you know, definitely part of my style, but for purposes of going fast and just keeping it moving to construct this scene, and then the others after it, got to keep on going. So that'll work. You know, the key is to let go of perfect. All right, so totally goes out of sync there. I'm gonna fix that. It's not what I wanted to do. All right, we're gonna take care of this right now when we get back. This ending point, it kind of stays stagnant there also. So I'm going to go in just a little bit more because she's got a great smile. Keep the guys in there still, but definitely have her be the main centerpiece prominently. So see how this looks. Okay, I'm happy with it. I am very happy with it. The grand finale. All right, so let's line these up correctly. Maybe one more. Okay, that's going ugly. So let's try to bring it forward. Maybe. Okay, I can already tell you that I I can see that this one needs to come way back. All right, so in order to get the sync back, let's go ahead and put this aside, but this shot that we were previously working on, so this part, that is the part where we pick up. So I got to resync from there. Okay, so I am screwing this up. My brain is starting to shut down. So here's what we're going to do. Take all of these guys, move them on over to, not up to the east side. All right, so one by one, we're going to line them up. These two, let's link. So that's a nice, shot to start right there. Okay, so let's find those spots on these other tracks. So I can already tell you that that's right there, or at least more or less in the neighborhood. So I'm gonna work off of that. Okay, that is perfect. So let's resync these. Okay, I would say that's, although that's loud because we're dealing with 3 layers of audio here, that sounds pretty good to me. So you got your wow, okay, that's not the wide. You got that shot, got your side shot, got your other shot. 61, 58, 61. Oh, that's the same shot. Don't need that one anymore. Okay, good. So the remaining audio sounds great. Maybe just a hair to the right. There you go, 1 frame. Okay, that sounds great. Now, back to the wide shot. That point at which we jump in there with that. Save that. Oof, almost there, everyone. Almost there. At least with this song. So. Yeah. Back in sync, baby. Okay, so now it's just a matter of cutting away from the ugly pieces that don't work visually now that everything else is synced again. But you know, that's gonna happen when you're editing. Like you're gonna lose the sync. Hell, I mean, in this case, I think I caused it somewhere along the line, but whatever, found it back. I like that wide shot, so. And I think that that's how, like, do you guys see what I did right there? This, I moved it back, but instead of just cutting it back, I repositioned it back, I think. So I think that's what happened is I moved it, but that's how these things happen. You know, you recorrect, you get back on course, you keep on going. Okay, so. See what the shot. All right, so this guy, let's drop right there. Let's have that audio cancel that out. Bring the good. Coming out nicely, audio crossfade. Again, if it's perfectly synced or at least close to perfect. Good. And the two audio levels are good. Ooh, that looked really good. Let's go back to that. You know what? That was camera. Well, not like we have multiple cameras, but that was the left side framing. So that was really nice. So let's bring this audio up on the wide shot just a little, or is that the wide shot? Yep. So the thing that really grabs my attention here as he finishes off is that little hand motion that he does on the harp. So I want to start off with, you know, oh, come on. There you go. Oh, Lord. Okay, there we go. I don't know why it does that, but just kind of. So by here, I would like to be focusing on his hands on the harp. And that harp just adds a whole other like touch to it. I don't know who came up with the idea of adding a harp to mariachi, but it works. It's a very, very beautiful, just a beautiful sound within the strong and rich texture that is mariachi music. Okay, so let's see how scary this zoom in will look. Okay, I didn't like it. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get rid of these. All right, so here, let's try something else. Little zoom in. I like the way this starts right here. The sombrero comes into frame for sure. Let's take this back to 100, I guess. Oh, there. Oh, it was already there. Oh, come on. Come on. There you go. Okay. So start nice and wide, end on a nice facial close-up. I think this is powerful right here. Three guys, sombreros. Let's see what that looks like, and then afterwards I want to cut to his close-up of the hands on the harp for just this small piece right here. Good, okay. I like it, I like it. Okay. Now just some audio dissolves right here. Bam, we lay it down. 3 seconds on, or 3 frames on each side for a total of 6 frames. Okay, so close up of his hands on the harp. If that's the harp sound. That's why I'm not a musician. That's why I'm a cameraman. All right, and an editor. Woof. Okay, so let's see how this looks. So we have that one part with the trumpet. Dun, dun, dun. So I'm thinking, I already used this shot right here, so we'll end on that wide, just like I was saying before. Okay, so Mr. Trumpet, we're gonna go in on this mariachi big time. Dun, dun, dun. Very classic ending to Mexican songs, by the way. Dun, 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 dun. They call it the dun, dun. Just indicates that song's over. Classic, classic Mexican indication of a song being over. Dun, dun, dun. 266, 270. good. Let's go ahead and drop in this one. Okay, that was a strong close to the ending. So now let's go ahead and bring in the audio. Bring this in, make it stronger. Always forget, like I had this piece down here and this piece down here, always forget to bring your audio pieces up. That way they replace the main audio line that you are trying to work off of, that you're trying to mimic. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna break this down right here because I always like to. All right, so let's try something else, like maybe an additive dissolve right here, just for a flash effect. See how it works. Okay, that looks ugly, so we're not going to do that. So usually to close out, what I'll do first off, let's go ahead and get a dissolve in here. So I like the dramatic effect of letting it just cut straight to black. It doesn't really work for my eye on this way. So I think what would be better than just dropping straight to black would be, maybe go 120 in, up too much. Let's try 115. Yeah, that works. Okay. 115, we mark that up. 15 to 100. All right, so a little bug on straight up on the keyboard. All right, so let's take a listen. This will actually be my first time listening to at least the first rendition of the first song in its entirety. So don't know what's going on, or we need to change if you don't listen, right? I'm really liking all of the movement here.
amas cuando así me dijiste a mí, por eso vivo penando.
Okay, so that went a little low on the audio, so we're gonna pick that up a little bit more. Cool. For being what it is, I'm happy with it. Now let's go through. Let's raise that up. Let's get a little audio, or yeah, a little audio dissolve there. Now, I've previously explained this in another video I just did, but as far as for keeping things very simple with regards to the color correction, what I'm going to do for the color correction is video elements, color correction, brightness and contrast. So I got to speak with a well-known photographer here in Tucson, a still photographer, and I asked him, correct me if I'm wrong, but colors are already there, right? And he's like, correct. You just have to balance them out with the brightness and the contrast, but especially the contrast. As long as you have light, then you can pull out all the dark colors. You can strengthen all the white colors. You can just really make things pop. So we're going to try this. Let's try 15. It makes it a whole lot richer. But I think if you go 20, the sky will go too white. Let's try this. Yep. So maybe 15. Let's bring it down to 10 maybe. 15, 10, 15, I like 15. All right, cool. So copy. Now, paste attributes, brightness, contrast. The audio is already taken care of, so, okay. So everything should change. Now let's take a look at this right here. Brightness, contrast, off, on, off, on. So let's check. So it just brings out their suits more, definitely the mountains. So it's a very nice touch. Very generic.
papel volando, negrita de mis pesares.
Now let's see if we can take things a step further. Let's go and little thing I always like to put in there is the denoiser for the audio. So let's drop that in and let's play with it. See what happens with the denoiser. Woof, okay. So denoiser, I usually like to use either default or light noise reduction. So let's go for light noise reduction. We copy that, paste it on everything else. But again, not all attributes. Want to just do the denoiser, brightness, contrast. That's already taken care of. So.
Papel volando, negrita de mis pesares, como se papel volando a todos diles que sí, pero no les digas cuando así me dijiste a mí, por eso vivo penando.
I dig it. All right, so everything else looks good. The audio is still strong. It's rich. It's a little cleaner. Another detail about the audio is usually when I'm shooting, I usually like to go hardwire straight into my Canon not X1, that's like 20 years ago, my Canon Rebel T2i. So I went straight into the microphone, into the camera, and then I left the audio recording on auto, so that way it regulates. So when sounds are too high, it regulates. When sounds are too low, brings them up. Anyways, everyone, thank you so much for hanging in there for a long freaking time. I hope this was valuable to you, and stay tuned for more of, editing skills. And then of course, I hope you're able to take away something from everything that I was doing here to construct this scene. I've got 4 more to go, plus that intro. And I hope you dig everything that you saw, and I hope you can apply it. More importantly, I hope you can apply it to your situation. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you guys later. Don't forget to subscribe. Also hit that little bell. That way you're notified next time I make a new video. Blah, blah, blah. I can't talk. Okay. Bye.